Alright, what's going on, guys? Afflicted Gamer here, back with another Division video. It is Friday, which means that the vendors have reset, and I will be going from place to place, DZ checkpoint to checkpoint, to find out what the best items are for sale this week in the Division, so that you guys do not have to. So if the video is helpful in any way, shape, or form, please drop it a like. It's much appreciated, and it does help the channel grow. And if you are new to the channel, I hope that you will consider subscribing for more Division content. You can follow me on Twitter at Afflicted Gamer, and the stream times for me to be live here on YouTube are at the end of the video. So first up, down in the hub at the blueprints vendor, we've got an ACR assault rifle blueprint. Not too bad if of an assault rifle. I know a lot of people don't particularly like it, but there are some that are a fan. If you haven't used it and you have the credits, pick it up, try it out. Converted USC blueprint, not the best SMG in the game, but surely not the worst. Stamina mask, stamina vest, quick release mag, heavy magazine spring, stamina gear mod. I would pick this up for sure. It will be especially more helpful if you want to run striker in 1.7. And a proto performance gear mod. You could pick that up if you just want to roll for the best and top numbers in your performance mod slots. Okay, moving over to our exotics, the Cassidy this week has 305% stagger, not the highest, but it's not terrible. Adept, deadly, and boomstick, not too bad if you want to run the double Cassidys. The Pecan this week, 14% damage to targets out of cover with Vicious, Brutal, and Pecan. This is actually pretty decent. I would actually get rid of Vicious for something else. That's just personal preference, but you could use it as is or reroll that for something else. The Historian this week has 160% headshot damage with Talented, Ferocious, and History Repeats. This is set up more towards a skill build, so if you can meet those requirements for firearms, electronics, and stamina, I would pick this up if you don't already have a better one. The Liberator this week has 23% enemy armor damage with Accurate, Adept, and Destructive. I would reroll off Accurate for something else, like Deadly, Brutal, anything of that sort, and you have yourself a good Liberator. The Centurion this week has Expert and Responsive, not too bad either if you want to run the Free Republic combo with the two. And other than that, we have, what else do we have here? Hopefully something decent. Reckless chest piece, 1195 electronics, 7% skill haste, 14,000 health, and 52% ammo capacity. You know what? Get it if you really want it. Other than that, I would just wait. I'm sure a better one will drop somewhere out of a cache or from the open world bosses, to be completely honest. But it's not terrible if you're desperate. Sentry call knee pads, 1229 firearms, over 12,000 skill power, damage to elites, shock resist, blind def resist. These are actually pretty decent if you are in need. You could even reroll off skill power if you're not looking to stack up your skill power, put health, crit damage, whatever you want. And anything else here? It does not seem like it this week. Savage. These are really not the greatest, but if you get rid of pistol damage for crit chance or crit damage, they would be okay in PvE, but that is about it. And the Alpha Bridge gloves aren't terrible either. You just have to bump up the firearms or put it into stamina if you need to, electronics. Or you could leave it as is, get rid of health on kill for crit damage, and compensate for the low firearms number with your mods, and you're set to go. So that is it for what we have down here in the hub. Let's move on.
It's cool.
At the Dark Zone gear vendor in the base of operations, we actually have a lightweight M4 here that is worth taking a look at. 21% enemy armor damage with predatory, focused, and brutal. I would absolutely roll off focused for something else, and you would have yourself a pretty decent PvE lightweight M4. So if you're desperate for one, or you really want one, you don't have one, pick this up for now. There is also a Relentless backpack with 1272 electronics, which is awesome. That is really high. I think that's pretty much the max roll right there. Over 12,000 skill power and bleed resist in the minor. You could re-roll it off for ammo capacity and have yourself a really good Relentless backpack.
Just window shopping, huh?
You'll be back one of these days.
Okay, at the base of operations gear vendor, we again have a Relentless backpack. This is really good. Wow, 1259 firearms, over 12,000 health, and 55% ammo capacity. You could literally leave this as is or re-roll it any way you like it. This is pretty much perfect. I think it's better than what I have on. I'll take it for this character. Alright, let's keep going. Alright, down at Camp Hudson, if you go to the gear vendor, he's got a Vigorous chest piece for sale, 2000 armor. Nice right off the bat. 1229 firearms, 5.5% enemy armor damage, and 4% health on kill with 46% ammo capacity. And the minor, reroll off health on kill or enemy armor damage for something else like health. Just a suggestion, but either way, pick this thing up. It's a really good chest piece, and you can reroll it any way you like. Down at the Cavern Safe House, there is another Reckless chest piece for sale here. It's not the greatest, but not the worst. 1161 electronics with 6% enemy armor damage, 8% skill haste, and 47% ammo capacity. So if you're desperate for one, you could pick this up and reroll something off. Skill haste, enemy armor damage, or if you are comfortable with those as is, swap out the electronics number for something else. But if you're desperate, there's one here.
Hey, catch you another time.
Alright, at Dante's Run, he's got a couple items for sale here. First up is a Rapid chest piece, 1119 electronics. I would swap that into a different slot because we've got over 16,000 health, 9% enemy armor damage, and 48% ammo capacity. This thing is really good. Do not pass it up. On top of that, there's a Prototype Performance Mod with 4% turret damage. So if you're running builds like Firecrest, I would go ahead and pick a few of these up because that's a pretty nice roll. Okay, at the Southpaw Safe House, anybody that is running a defense build, there is a Prototype Performance Mod here for sale. 4.5% ballistic shield damage. Resilience, if you do not have a 5%, I would go ahead and pick a few of these up. Put them on your gear until you can find a 5% roll. Alright, at the Madison Stand Safe House, he's got one item for sale here, and that is a pair of Accomplished knee pads. These things are pretty much perfect if you want to stack up on your field proficiency caches for Phoenix credits. Whatever the case is, pick these up. 1263 electronics, over 16,000 health, increased kill XP on top of the fact that they're accomplished knee pads, shock resist, and damage to elites. Honestly, pick a few of these up. I'm actually gonna do the same thing. And now my fourth character for the vendor reset is broke. Anyways, don't pass those up. Okay, moving into the Dark Zone at West 31st Street. That is all for the safe houses.
Hey, stupid.
She has a Model 700 Carbon for sale here. 168% headshot damage with cool-headed, brutal, and elevated on there. You could obviously re-roll off cool-headed if you wanted to for something else if you do not meet the electronics requirement, but this is a pretty good Model 700 Carbon. I would not pass this up.
Think about buying something that's fine. Someone else will want this.
Alright, at the West 34th Street DZ checkpoint, there's a specialized backpack for sale here. 1196 firearms, over 12,000 health, and 51% ammo capacity. Either bump up the firearms number or put it into a different slot. Either way, if you don't already have a specialized backpack, I would take a look at this one and probably pick it up. Actually, I would pick it up. At the West 46th Street DZ checkpoint, he has a Prototype Performance Mod for sale here, 5.5% first aid self-heal. If you do not have a max roll of 6%, then go ahead and pick a few of these up and throw them on your character or characters.
What, you think you don't need this?
No, I don't. I got better ones. Okay, at the East 34th Street DZ checkpoint, he's got an item for sale here, which is this Steadfast holster. Over 1,200 across the board, and we've got 3.5% crit hit chance. You could reroll the major attribute to any other option that you like, or even try to bump up the crit hit chance if you wanted to. But you know what? If you're not a fan of Nimble, you want a high-end holster, here is a decent Steadfast holster. Actually, it's better than decent.
Come back when you're feeling up to it.
Don't tell me what to do. Okay, at the DZ03 safe room, he has a pretty good enhanced PP19 for sale here. 22.5% crit chance with destructive, brutal, and hurried on it. You can get rid of hurried if you want to, and given that it is in the free slot, you can put any other talent in there that you want. Make it good for PvE, PvP, doesn't matter. Either way, I would take a look at this thing, especially if you do not already have a better one. Okay, over at the East 58th Street DZ checkpoint, he's got a couple items for sale here. First up is a Rapid chest piece, 1224 firearms with 5.5% enemy armor damage, 9% skill haste, 25% increased kill XP. You could either keep skill haste and reroll off enemy armor damage for something like health, or vice versa. Either way, not a bad rapid chest piece. And on top of that, there is a Nimble holster for sale here. I'm a little bit iffy on this one, but the 1243 firearms, 1271 electronics really stand out. 1156 stamina is quite low, but you can compensate for that. And the major attribute is reload speed. I know people are a fan, but if you're not, reroll it off for crit damage, health, whatever your personal preference is.
Come on, I'm desperate here.
Sorry about your luck. Okay, in the DZ08 safe room, there are a few items for sale here that are worth taking a look at. First up is a Reckless chest piece, 1259 stamina with 9% EDR, which you could reroll off for anything else if you wanted to, over 15,000 health and 28% increased kill XP. You could even reroll that off for ammo capacity and keep the EDR. The choice is yours. Either way, it is a good Reckless chest piece. And there is a Steadfast holster here with pretty high 1200 across the board numbers and almost, well, pretty close to 8,000 health. So if you're not a fan of Nimble anymore, I would take a look at this Steadfast holster and definitely pick it up.
Sooner or later, you'll be back.
Now, in the same safe house, if you come over to the female vendor, she has a defense vest here for sale, 1217 stamina, 4% all resistance, which you could re-roll off for health or whatever it is you so choose to, because it does have 8% skill haste and ammo capacity in the minor slot. So I would definitely take a look at that if you are looking to make a defense build. Okay, and for our final stop of the week at the DZ09 safe room, I'm already being told off by the vendor. Okay, so our final items are a striker harness, 1217 stamina, over 16,000 health, 9% skill haste, and 47% ammo capacity. In my opinion, this is pretty much near perfect. I would not pass this up, but well, actually I already have a better one, but if I didn't, I would absolutely grind it out and get this if I didn't already have the rank and the credits. And on top of that, our last item is down at the mods vendor. He's got an extended mag here, 121% mag size, which is fantastic. 2.5% crit chance, 4.5% reload speed. I know people like reload speed versus rate of fire, and then there are some that don't, but for those of you that do, this is here at the DZ09 safe room. So anyways, those are all of the items that are for sale this week in the division that are worth looking at, in my opinion. Hopefully the video was helpful. If it was, again, please go ahead and drop it a like. It's much appreciated. It does help the channel grow. And if you are new, consider subscribing for more division content. I do these every single week to save you guys the time and the trouble from roaming around and checking every place by yourself. So, and contamination levels are going. So there we go. That's the end of the video, guys. Follow me on Twitter at AfflictedGamer, and the stream times for me to be live here on YouTube are at the end of the video. Until next time, take care. Get the items that you need.